Hey, you. Welcome back to the channel. And guys, today we want to talk about the government shutdown in the United States going into week 3 and the possibility that it could last years. So, according to this article from Real Clear Politics, from Sanders, Trump means what he says, that shutdown could last years. Democrats unwilling to let Trump win. So, government shutdowns are basically something that's been pretty much ongoing in the United States history. If we can go all the way back to our last administration with Obama, all the way back to Bill Clinton, and you got government shutdowns going on. Now, the problem with a government shutdown, as many of us well know, is that at this point in time, federal workers aren't being paid. And it's causing problems in the system because now many are calling in sick. The problem is when you force people to work without pay, without incentive. I kind of liken it to what we would have in past eras with the military and drafting. You would force people to go to war, but would you have a willing soldier, a good soldier, a quality soldier? And in some cases, probably not, because you can't really force people to work or fight if they don't really want to. So the problem with people not being paid, federal workers going into 3 weeks, besides that, is that they have families and they have lives and they're not being paid. Who knows what's going to happen with their bills? Their children need to eat. And so we have a lot of federal workers. We've been probably about 1 million at least. So that's a lot of people and that's a lot of families that are in pretty bad shape right now. All their situations are different and some are worse than others. Some have had to pull from their retirement to keep this going. Now, this is mostly a crypto channel, and what generally the crypto community, some of them aren't very sympathetic to federal workers, government employees, and specifically and especially not the IRS. But here's the problem with government shutdowns in general. There are phases to government shutdowns, and generally they do start at the federal employee level, but they can grow to start to affect retirements and pensions, Social Security, and just a host of things. Uh, Next, being possibly affected here in the short term will be tax refund checks and various things like that, which is hard on a struggling family who are dependent on their IRS check. Is going to probably be delayed. Now, what's happening with the president, Donald Trump, right now is he is speaking of possibly declaring a national emergency, which is questionable if he can exactly do that or not. Some say under law he can, but then the Democrats can tie it up in court and so on and so forth. And so it's not so simple. It can be a problem with him doing that. And that could create more delays. Of course, our position, or my position looking at this, is that when looking for a solution to this, because on this channel we pretty much deal with solutions. I watch a lot of content and videos, and we get the news, but sometimes it doesn't leave you with much positive or things you can do or ideas you can come up with. And I think when we relay information, it's always good, if possible, we could have some ways forward. So if you watch my channel, a lot of people know that through cryptocurrency, through Bitcoin forks, I propose universal basic income. And see, the reason this is important, needing a delivery system for ideas like universal basic income to help people. I know a lot of people don't think that's the answer per se. However, looking at the situation and looking at the facts of governments can declare shutdowns that affect millions of people, They can affect your Social Security, retirement, pension. I think it makes sense for us to try to come up with ways, systems, ideas that we're not held subject to the government, whether it be federal employees or people of retirement age, or what have you. The government can affect all these benefits and effectively shut them down to where you're not getting anything. And so that's a huge problem. It's a big problem. Now, with blockchain technology, I believe we have now some of the greatest technology in mankind's history. Very significant, can be used to solve many problems. But my disappointment in the cryptocurrency space, and it's a big disappointment, is that we have exploited this on games. We've building blockchains that are inferior, that aren't structurally sound, and spending millions and billions of dollars on this at no point at all, really. I think in most cases just to make developers money in some cases. So very disappointed that we don't see the full potential and what can be done with this. If you are a person who's suffering from these happenings, government shutdowns, losing your government paycheck each week or each month, and this can possibly go on for years, join our initiative, join BitcoinMyK, because the problem is this. This can happen and will happen time and time and time again. We've had it, the last several administrations happen. One of these times when it happens, it's going to be really bad. It's going to be far worse than what we've had so far. And it's just along the horizon for that to happen. Let's take initiative now. Let's not play the blockchain game so much now. Let's get serious about building real good use cases and real things that could change the world and make our lives better for everyone. I know a lot of people feel like gaming is the mass adoption vehicle, but the problem is this. We've done this. We've done the gaming thing before, and it's been done way better, I think, than these apps are ever going to be able to do it. There were virtual games that used token-based economies back in the early 2000s, like Second Life, that sold billions in virtual goods a year, over $500 million every year in virtual goods and services. And they've done that quite well. And it hasn't led to any mass adoption on the levels of, what I think many of us in the cryptocurrency space are aiming at. I don't think it can be done with gaming. We need something solid and something that can really answer people's problems, right? And one way that's going to be is being able to sustain people with basic incomes, from value derived from our activity, at the very least having a distribution system and a model that doesn't allow us to be held captive by government edicts and policies, which is going to happen again and again as it's done. Now, again, if you're a federal worker, if you're a federal employee, and this video is in you're able to hear this message, you can join our program free. Our goal is to get everybody basic income of $1,000 per month. When events like this happen, if you would have a safety net like that, you could weather that storm a great deal better than what's happening now. And that's why it's so important, I think, that we really get serious about this. We look at not just now and if we can make a few dollars in cryptocurrency today, but what this can mean for us down the road, and how it can really change the world, be significant enough for people to care, for it to put the demand there for people to care, right? So it's easy to register. It's easy to sign up with us. It's easy to participate in this initiative. to get the power back to the people, not to be held subject by the problems of the government controlling all our money and controlling our lives to no end. Guys, you like content like this? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and until next time, take care.